school. It's not COVID. I've tried. It's not COVID. No fever, not COVID, I'm going to work. Before I tell you a little bit about the incredible experience that principals had, I do want to take a moment just to thank you on behalf of our teachers, because I don't know if anybody knows this, but teaching's like really hard. And it can be a little demoralizing sometimes. And it can feel like there is no joy some days when the kids around you are hurting and suffering, and when the news around you is dark and depressing, and when politics everywhere seem like it's imploding. And really good teachers are very hard to replace when they burn out. Like really hard. It takes a long time to become an expert teacher. And for me, the real gift as a school leader is seeing educators get this BEF grant that they are so excited about, that lets them go to a place and do a thing that they never otherwise would have been able to do, and to have their personal and professional buckets refilled in ways that give them the fuel and the energy they need to do this hard work for another year or 2 or 5. And to know that they can then go back again and say, I need that energy boost, and that the BEF is there. And there are not enough words for me to tell you how meaningful that is for our staff, which then means it's exponentially more meaningful for your children. Because when teachers are their best selves, your children have incredible experiences, and it takes a whole lot more than what we can give during a school day to help teachers be their best selves. So that's my primary pitch for why I'm so grateful for the BEF. And from a personal, selfish standpoint, this year we had a lot of administrative turnover in our principals, and we've had a lot in the last few years. And it's really, really hard to be a solo school leader, even when you have 9 other school leaders in the district, if you don't have a relationship with them. And I really felt that last year, even though we hadn't had as much turnover. I was newer, there's been a lot of turnover, there's turnover in central office. Every meeting we were at, it felt like a mad scramble to put out fires. We were drinking from a fire hose all the time. I felt like we really just hadn't recovered from COVID, and we hadn't gelled as a team. So when we had 3 principals turnover this summer, including 2 quite late, I was personally very frightened for myself. Because I'm doing a building project. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. And it's kind of a lot, and I'm not really a building project expert. So I knew I was gonna need a little like moral support, if nothing else, and 2 of my favorite principals were the ones that left. And so I was like, they were my people. And so I was like, oh no. And so we saw this opportunity to go see Jim Knight, who is one of my personal heroes, who focuses on helping educators be better instructional coaches. Because at the end of the day, that's what a principal aspires to be, right? We're often doing management and putting out fires, but we really want to be outstanding instructional coaches so that we can support the educators who are in the trenches with students every day in really meaningful, powerful ways. So I've watched a lot of Jim Knight videos and read a lot of Jim Knight books, but I've never been able to go see Jim Knight. And so I reached out with this crazy idea that like, hey, how about you send all of us to see Jim Knight? Because that'd be awesome. And it's really expensive. And the BEF happily, gratefully agreed to send us. And so 6 of the elementary school principals, which is a supermajority, and Jody Fortuna, the director of the Office of Teaching and Learning, all got on planes, and we actually flew down early, not on your dime, I promise. And I took some principals on a tour of Disney World, because that's my superpower. We had some days of Disney bonding, which was great, before the conference started on Monday. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we really spent our daytime hours from 9 to 5, and they gave us food. They gave us breakfast and lunch. It was so civilized. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, and it was like an hour for lunch. It was like, what is happening? I'm sitting. The walkie's not going off. We're talking about things. It was amazing. Anyway, so we did that from 8 to 4:30 or 5, and then we got in our Ubers in our little caravan, and we went to Disney Springs, because you don't have to buy tickets for that. And we had incredible opportunities to just get to know each other and to really gel as a team. And I personally have really felt that this year. in our ability to collaborate with each other. And it's really trickled out into the 4 principals who weren't able to attend. I feel like the fact that the 6 of us had so much unity and bonding really allowed the 10 of us to gel as a team in some really good ways. In ways where, you know, that I have colleagues who've called me for help this year who've never called me for help. And I've called colleagues for help that I've never called for help about crazy things that we randomly ended up talking about while we were enjoying our hour-long lunch that somebody else cooked. It was amazing. And that's the sort of thing that the school district should really not be spending money on, right? I want them putting money in the hands of kids. That's what I want. But I also know that for us, it was a really powerful and moving experience, and we're already thinking about what other things we can do right here together to continue to build that collaboration and community. That foundation was really important. And Gym Night was also amazing. And Zaretta Hammond spoke, and that was amazing, and I was totally fangirling. She's so good. You should watch her on YouTube if you haven't. Talking about educational equity, it's like, will blow your mind.
In
but,
Florida.
Yeah. It should have been in December though. October was kind of left out, right? Like, why didn't we schedule the Florida ones in the middle of it? I don't know. The one I'm looking at, I want to go this summer to the National Council of Elementary School Principals is co-hosting with secondary school principals, and it's in Nashville in July. And I'm like, but why? Why would you do that? Like, that's not a good sales pitch, people. It's like Denver in July, Nashville in November. I could do this for you people. All to say, the BEF really does provide opportunities to educators that nothing else does. There is nothing else in this district that provides these opportunities and that help us all nourish ourselves so that we can keep doing this really hard, meaningful, important work. So I'm so grateful for all of you for being here and for your past support and for hopefully your future support. And as my colleagues here said, I'm happy to answer questions at any time. Come by Pierce so you can see Unit A before it's gone. It's wild having 12 classrooms and no walls. It's not loud at all. We had a dinosaur on the loose this week. It was just a bearded dragon. It was loose in Unit A. It was recovered safely. All was well. Yeah. So it's a special space. If you haven't had a chance to see it, you should definitely come take a look. We are doing some videoing for posterity, but I'm so grateful and thank you all. I hope you have a fantastic night.